Guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm doing a review of the Amenti Oracle, Feather Heart deck, and Guidebook, Ancient Wisdom for the Modern World. And this is a deck that I've had for quite a while, like over a year, maybe a couple years, and I felt it was time for a review. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box first. So this is printed by RP Studio. And this was created by Jennifer Sodini, and I will mention the illustrator in just a moment. Down here, the illustrator is Natalie Miller. And oh my gosh, the images in here when we get to them, you guys. Oh, I mean, okay, so it does have a little magnetic closure, so satisfying for you homies out there. Okay, so we open it up, and first of all, so much color. So much going on here, and they have a lovely little guidebook here, which we'll be diving into first, and then we'll take a look at our cards. So let's go ahead and put this over here for a moment, and let's take a look at this. So here it looks like we have the Feather of Mott. Let me just adjust the exposure for you guys just a little bit, and yeah, let's get in here. Oops, there we go. Okay. So as you can see, full color, lovely. You can use this as an actual book if you would like to put it into your bookcase. And this is a little forward about kind of like introducing you to the Amenti Oracle and kind of what you might want to use it for. But the introduction is here, kind of talking about how the creator, Jennifer Sodini, decided to create this deck. And actually, it was kind of like an awakening of some sort, where she was kind of like working on a blog for, you know, a pop culture star, and then she decided to just leave her job, leave her relationship, you know, go to this retreat, and just she, you know, was able to find herself once again. She said she'd been living in like the past and the future, but had rarely found herself in the present, and it was finding herself in the present that she really found who she was, and thus created this deck. And she does talk about pulling a lot of symbolism from many ancient cultures, especially ancient Egypt. And as you saw, like with the Feather of Mott there. And then she goes into why this particular deck with its particular symbolism. So what is Amenti? And here she's talking about, she read something called the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. And in here it says, in the Emerald Tablets, the halls of Amenti are described as a space between worlds where time collides and past, present, and future potentials coexist. So she was talking about, you know, not just living in the past or the future, but the more you live in the present, the more you realize that all time is one. And so she, you know, incorporated many pieces of symbolism from various ancient cultures that she felt quite connected to, and stuff that she had seen in her visions. But she has 42 cards in this deck because of the significance of the number 42 in various cultures and religions, and she kind of talks about that here. And then moving right along, she talks about how you might want to use the cards, but of course, you know, once you have a deck, you can use the deck however you wish, but I do think it's nice to kind of at least read about what the author might suggest. You have a few card layouts here that you can utilize. Again, fabulous artwork. So lots of stuff here. And then you go into a summarization, some information on each of your cards. And as you can see, full color images, absolutely beautiful. And at the very back, we just get into the acknowledgements, really. And there we go. And then you have a little bit on the very back cover about Jennifer Sodini and Natalie Miller, the creator. And it says, largely self-taught, her artistic practice is influenced by the subculture of the 80s and 90s, the Art Nouveau and Art Deco movements, ancient civilizations, astrology, among others. Absolutely prevalent, and it's easy to see that kind of throughout the cards, as we'll find in just a moment, because we're going to be diving into these. So let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, let's take a look at the backs of these cards. So you can see the neons of the 80s, you can see the symbolism from the ancient cultures, and just with the angles, certain angles of the images, very Art Nouveau, Art Deco to me, you know, 20s Art Deco. Much of downtown San Diego has a lot of old Art Deco, so I'm very familiar with it when I see it. So I think it's pretty cool. It is a matte finish. I've had these, like I said, for quite a while. I've shuffled them. I don't really have a whole lot of nicks or anything on the side, so cardstock pretty much stands up. I would say this cardstock is definitely like maybe like a 350 maybe GSM. Like it's really thick, you guys, like super thick cardstock. Let me see if I can get in on that for you guys. So cool there. So I don't know how it might fare with those of you that like to riffle shuffle. I'm a side shuffler, so I don't really have too much trouble with it, but yeah. So okay, I forgot to bring a tarot deck out here, but I will say that if you go in just a little bit, that's like from here to about here where my thumbnail is about where your standard tarot deck width ends, and about from here to the top of the hand right here is about where your traditional tarot deck length tops. Okay, so just, you know, FYI if you wanted to know. But anyway, let's take these out of the box here, and yeah, let's take a look at the cards. Okay, so as you can see, there's going to be kind of a slight border, actually maybe a bigger border around here. The image is right in the middle here, but it's very simplistic when it comes to color and imagery. So I believe that your eye directly goes into here. Some people don't like borders. I think it works well with this deck. Down here, again with the lettering, is very reminiscent, I think, of like the late 80s, early 90s type font, but I keep my own counsel. So very simplistic in color, but I do love the angles, the geometry, the influence of, you know, the 80s, 90s culture. Also, you could see some of that Art Nouveau, but also Art Deco mixed in there. A lot of ancient Egypt, and also an influence of Mayan culture, ancient Mayan civilization, since that's something I'm really familiar with, since I teach Mayan astrology. So this really spoke to me as well. I mean, I do feel like a pull towards ancient Egypt and all of that, and just art in general. And I think that it's nice, you know, with all these different decks, that they touch different aspects of ourself and bring up things that may have lain dormant within us. And so, and I think that different art styles and different decks can help us, you know, in our healing journey, help us to understand ourselves so that we can help others and thus our world. So cool. I recently bought some shelves so I can finally pull all my decks out of the, like, I've kind of kept all my decks in bins, and so this was at the bottom of one of the bins. Even though I do like to use it quite a bit, it's like I had to pull out all of my decks so that I could use it. But now that it's out on a shelf, I'm like, yay, I'm just gonna like bust this deck out, just boom. I love the simplicity, like you just don't even know. Of course, I love decks that have a lot going on, kind of like the Tarot of the Moon Garden, like so much color, so much like trippy, lots of stuff. And other times I appreciate the decks that are just like, it's like, here you go. And the symbolism and what you see just evokes so much from you, even though it doesn't appear to be a lot going on in the card. And those are the types of decks I really love as well. Kinds that evoke something out of you. They make you look at different aspects of yourself. They make you question things. Or if something feels uncomfortable, it asks you why, and you want to dive into it. Or if something feels very good, again, asking yourself why. I converse with awareness. So cool, especially with the hummingbird symbolism. So it's not just beautiful art, but there's a lot of intentional symbolism in here, you know, with the disc on the head, with particular colors, with the crying, with, you know, the light around the book. Just a lot. And I believe it was in the book, The Peaceful Warrior. There's never nothing going on, is one of the quotes. It may appear simple on the outside, but there's definitely a lot going on there. And card number 42, last card. Okay, so I like to do a little reading in my reviews, so if this reading connects with you, I mean, awesome. If not, then I hope you just enjoyed the review and you enjoyed kind of hanging out with us and maybe looking at all these gorgeous images. I don't know why the light's playing like that, but okay. So let's take a look at the card we pulled here. And again, like I said, I hope it connects with some of you guys out there. Very cool. The message at the bottom says, I praise the goddess and the god. And right away I was just looking at the way they fit together, kind of yin and yang, lightness, darkness, shadow, and that which we see, so conscious and subconscious, horned and unhorned, so defensive and non-defensive. It's beautiful. So let's actually, I love to take a look into the guidebook so you guys can see what the creator would have to say, and then I want to add a little bit of my 2 cents, but I praise the goddess and the god. So let's look in here. I praise. Okay, found it. Here it is, card number 38. The word neter describes the gods and goddesses of Egyptian philosophy. The word itself loosely translates to force of nature. Ancient Egyptians believed that, like the avatars of the Hindu belief system, these forces were the living embodiments of the infant universal lessons hidden and found within nature. Unity with nature, the all, being the highest level of understanding one could achieve, true balance is found through the reconciliation that there is a lesson within every reflection of the life experience, light and dark, life and death, masculine and feminine, the left and right hemispheres of the brain, fear and love. Every perceived pair of opposites makes up 2 halves of the same whole, and reconciling the space between the perception of duality allows for balanced scale and faith in the wisdom of the all. Confidence in justice, the embodiment of Bhat, and finding love and acceptance with the all are the never-ending story of consciousness's cycle of life, death, resurrection, and rebirth. This is what it means to honor the ideal of the goddess and the god, not as deities to worship, but rather powers to come into relationship with. It is to honor the holographic energies of nature's forces and appreciate what it means to embody both the masculine and the feminine, not as gendered modus operandi, but as shimmering of the various qualities of nature. To carry the glow of the god represents an application of the left hemisphere of mind and the energies of science, logic, linear time, binary perception, physical strength, waking reality, and non-attachment. To live in the iridescence of the goddess represents the utility of the right hemisphere of the mind and the energies of art, intuition, cyclical time, magic, ritual, dream language, and the astral realm and emotion. Finding balance in the synthesis is to live this ideal in the immersive light of truth, to find what is within through what is without, and to uncover idealization without idolization. Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. And what that brought to mind for me was kind of like in the classic Maya culture, they had the Tolkien calendar, and then they had a separate calendar which was meant for kind of like your daily, almost like looking forward to a month, kind of like your day-to-day, the mundane, whereas the Tolkien calendar was more of the spiritual aspect. But they needed both calendars in order to live a full life, something that is both spiritual and as of this world. So just something I thought was wonderful. So my 2 cents on here then, where it says praise of the goddess and the god, there might be some aspect within your life right now where you're feeling like you must choose one side or the other. I must be all this or all that. If I'm on this side, that means I can't understand or believe in anything of the other side. When really, there is no this side and that side. There is no wrong and there is no right. If we're all of the one, if we are reminded that as human beings, we all come from the same energy source, then it makes us take a look at those people that we call our enemies. So to demonize someone else is to demonize ourselves. And so that's kind of a hard pill to swallow sometimes, especially when we're like, well, that person's done atrocious things. I would never do those things. But it brings up shadow aspects within yourself that you can heal. And the more that we heal actually ourselves as a whole, because we are connected like that. Okay, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope somebody got a little something out of the message here. But this, again, was the Amenti Oracle, created by Jennifer Sedini. And again, that artist was Natalie Miller. So fabulous job. And yeah, so let me know if you have this deck, if you're looking to get it. I believe I got it on Amazon back in the day, so if I can find it on Amazon, I'll put the link down below for you guys if you're interested, but I'm not saying you have to get it. I was just more trying to show off some awesome art. But anyway, if you dug this review, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittensweightsandtarot.com. I have a lot of different types of readings. I have Lenormand, I have tarot, I have crystal scrying, I have mediumship readings, I have energetic healings that I do. I have conchomancy readings where I literally read with seashells because I grew up by the beach, and I just kind of created my own understanding of seashells and that system. And I also have my Wally's World Oracle that I created, and I have my salves, my room body sprays that I make. But if you guys are looking for something a little more witchy, and then maybe you want to head over to Desert Cauldron. It's all one word on Etsy. It's a shop that's run by myself and James over at Light of Riga. And we have many one-of-a-kind items because we know that your practice is unique. Not everybody practices exactly the same. Not every witch practices exactly the same. You guys have your own backgrounds, your own belief systems, and so we created tools that we thought would benefit those very unique practices. So many of the items created by myself and James, and some items that were created by our local artisans. We live here in Arizona, where we live close to many local Native American reservations. I myself am part Pima Indian, so I'm kind of in the Pima Maricopa area. But we have many items that were created not only by the Pima, but by the White Mountain Apache and the Navajo, etc., etc. So lots of good stuff over there. Definitely go check it out. And there's something that's coming into the shop pretty soon, and are my spell bottles that I've created. And this particular spell bottle has some cat fur from my friend Chunky Monkey, who likes to visit us and hang out with us. So there's that. I also have a little scroll with some magical words infused into this, and there's a Lemurian quartz in here, using a little bit of color magic with this particular spell bottle, but it's meant for prosperity and abundance. So definitely go check it out. And I was mentioning Light of Riga, who is the other owner of Desert Cauldron, and actually this particular crystal is a Colombian Lemurian, and it's not in his shop yet, but he said definitely go follow him on his Instagram at Light of Riga, and maybe you guys can take a gander at this beauty. Just, oh my gosh, maybe you guys need to get in on this. Like, I'm so infatuated with this. It's so gorgeous, and the power, oh my gosh, all the feels. Definitely something excellent to meditate with. But anyway, so yeah, that's it for me, spiritual homies. All my other information is down below for my newsletter. I was talking about, I do teach Mayan astrology, and that is at my Leon Mystery School, where I am the head mistress. There's many other courses if you are interested. And I also have my Patreon group where I do a lot of things like my channel guidance every week. I do crystal grids. I do specific live chats that are just for my Patreon homies, and many other things. So definitely go check it out. And that's it for me, spiritual homies. I will catch you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.